And we talk about Journey to Babel after this. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd, and one of the more famous episodes of the original series in the second season is Journey to Babel. Now, we've established before that there was a whole lot of interest in Spock during the first season. He was kept pretty much, well, not really in the background. He was still one of the lead actors, but there wasn't a lot of backstory on him. And they've decided in the second season to fill that in. A lot of the lesser regarded episodes by me are dealing with his love life. However, the Journey to Babel episode gives a lot more background of what Spock is and how he deals with it. Spock is half human. They've said this before, and so they introduce his human mother along with his Vulcan father. There is problems between him and his father. They haven't spoken for like 14 years, and it has to do with Spock's refusal to take his position at the Vulcan Science Academy and instead enroll in Starfleet. So this is the basis on which they start out the episode. We find out from Amanda, played by Jane Wyatt, who does an excellent acting job in this, as you might expect her to do. Then in discussing just what it was for Spock to grow up as half human, he was neither Vulcan, he was not human, and there was a great pull on either side as he tried to fit in with the culture on Vulcan. Also, they suggest here, and it's revealed later on in more detail, but in this episode we get our first look at the fact that Sarek, being a full-blood Vulcan, is not necessarily all that free of emotion either. And one of the things they always say about Vulcans is Vulcans never lie. Well, it's only Vulcans that say that. I would say, in fact, that Vulcans lie all the time, and their biggest lie is that they're ruled by logic alone. Now, their emotions are suppressed. We know this, and they are a lot more deadly whenever they're let loose. But the fact of the matter is they maintain control. It's not that they don't have emotions, but they maintain control over them. And Spock, trying to prove himself as a Vulcan, is more Vulcan than the Vulcans are, as it turns out. So this is the way to understand who Spock is and why he does what he does. And this is all very well framed in this episode, written by D.C. Fontana, by the way, one of the better writers of the series. Started out as a script editor and later wrote some of the best episodes in this series. Nevertheless, we have Spock as his sense of duty, his conflict between human emotions and the Vulcan way, and also the concern of being outed by Dr. McCoy and to a certain extent by the captain himself. The incident with the Salot, which this is one thing that I've seen in the original series. I've seen it in a lot of TV shows, as a matter of fact, when someone says something and then someone echoes that. In this case, Amanda says to Dr. McCoy he had a pet Salot, and McCoy says, "What's a Salot?" Which is to say, he didn't listen to what she said, he was reading the script, and that little thing like that bothers me in an otherwise well-acted episode. But we've seen that before when in that series, as a matter of fact, where someone will identify himself or identify somebody by a proper name, and then it'll be pronounced differently by the next person that talks to him, mostly because they're reading it off a script rather than listening to the other actors. It's one of the problems with 60s era television. They did these episodes very quickly. They didn't have a whole lot of time to rehearse. They didn't have really that much direction, honestly. And they just threw them together and spent most of the time working on the special effects. And it's amazing that they got as good a performances out of some of them as they did. In the case of this, however, Jane Wyatt steals away every scene that she's in. The other things that provide the tension of the people who are trying to undermine this conference at Babel, and of course the disagreements between the ambassadors themselves, the ultimate fight scene that has to happen. If the captain doesn't have a love scene, he has to have a fight scene, and they almost put that out there for no reason at all. Just as things were going on, suddenly the captain's in a fight in the middle of the hall. They don't say really what provoked it and why. If they suspected this Andorian imposter of being one of the problems, why they didn't send security after him instead of having the captain go and try to collar him himself. It did not make sense in that case. But other than that, a well-done episode. I'd like to know what you think about it. Please put it in the comments below. And of course, if you have not subscribed, please do so. And click the like button as well, if you will. And if you have interest in seeing further of these things, because we not only do the original series in retro reviews, we are now doing Deep Space Nine retro reviews, and beginning this Friday we will have a video out on the new Strange New Worlds season starting on Thursday. So that's all coming up, so please be with us, and you can click the bell icon on there, so you'll know when the next video comes your way. But look for us again on Friday for our review of the Season 2, Episode 1 of Strange New Worlds. So until then, don't go far.